Okay, right. Yes. So okay, I tried to stream this earlier, but completely forgot about all the things I have to do today. So I'm gonna start again from the beginning, and so what I'm trying to do, or rather what I'm going to do, is set up a playground for Godot and Legion. So let's start with that. And let's go into our Rust, and let's add some. You know what we're gonna do? We are going to do do that. Okay, start building this. Actually, that's what I did last time. Cargo. Let's do that. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Stop that. Hey. Alright, we're just gonna let that run. So, alright. Now that seemed to have stopped working. Okay, now it works. Let's do that, and I'm sorry about that. So what am I gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna add some dependencies in the meantime. Let's see, what do we need? We need Legion. We need Legion there, and we're not gonna use. Let's make this a little bit bigger so everyone can see that. We're gonna use my fork of Legion because it has a fix in it. Tunnel. Let's add Legion. Get. Probably need that there. And what else do we need? We need lazy static. Oh, come on. Cargo add lazy static. There we go. Okay, right. So we got lazy static and Legion. Do we need anything else? I think that's it for now. Let's see how this guy's doing. Yeah, it's going. And alright, I'm pressing every key in the world. Okay, so let's actually do some programming while we're waiting for that to build. Actually, what I'm going to do as soon as that's done is I'm going to run cargo check. Now, you know what? Vim can do that in the background. So let's do some actual programming. Okay, so what I did or started doing to set up this playground, and the reason for doing this is so I don't have to work with my game to try something out. Instead, I want to have this playground where I can sort of just try something out, see if it's worth it, and if I like it, I put it in my game. If I don't like it, I throw it away, because, you know, why wouldn't you? So that's what I want to do now, and that's going to have a few basic things like a game world, a couple of systems, and some unit movement and such. But I'm jumping the gun a little bit. So let's see how we're going to do this. We're going to do a game world. Alright, and now I'm kind of working backwards because there is no game world right now. So let's add that. And let's do a new game world. And what are we going to have here? We need this is going to be our one and only node that we're using in Godot that we're gonna create in the editor, at least to start with. So let's first bring in all the Godot native stuff, and let's create the game world class. There we go, and that's a node 2D, so we need that as well. We're also gonna need the Legion stuff. And what else do we need? Lazy static. Lazy static's gonna hold our world and our universe. Right, okay, and that's still building, is it? Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. But in the meantime, we can set up the, you know what we need? Mutex. We need a mutex. Alright, so what did I kind of did all this, and then I had to stop the stream, and I just threw it all away, and then we'll start again. So I had a process that runs on every process tick here. So I had a process. I have a schedule that runs on every process tick here. And then I never got this far, but I want one that does the same thing for physics. So in physics, we move all our units and all that stuff, and then everything else in process that doesn't require that. But process doesn't exist, and neither does the physics structs that I'm referring to. So let's look at that. First, we're going to see. Okay, this is done. This is now done. So we are going to save everything. Run that so we can see it building the build time up here, right? And while that's ticking away, we can go into our library, and we've added the game world, and we're gonna do this now. Okay, so let's start by adding our world and our universe. Universe. Okay. Alright, I got there in the end. So we'll do a static ref universe. You know what? I don't even need a universe for this. We're gonna ignore the universe now. We're just gonna have world. That's gonna hold a mutex with world. It's gonna be a mutex with a world. So mutex new universe. Oh man. Universe. New create world. Thank you. Right, and then on top of that we had a utility function. We'll make it public in case we have to use it elsewhere. And it's going to be generic over f, where f is an fn mutable, taking a mutable reference to world. There we go. And now we can lock the world, or we can try to lock the world. And then we'll map that. World probably needs to be mutable. And we'll call the function with world. And then we'll capture the result, but we don't care about it for now. And yeah, was that actually done building or not before I went and saved? Yes, it was. Okay, right. So that means cargo check is waiting. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's ignore that for a bit. Okay, so we have the world. We have the world in a mutex, so everyone can use it. So then we need the physics and the process schedule. So let's start with the oh, that doesn't need to be public. Process, and that's gonna have some resources, and it's gonna have a schedule. And that's come on, that's it. We're gonna do the same thing for physics. And let's implement this now. We're gonna have a new function that definitely doesn't have to be public. So resources default, and that's gonna be mutable. So we're gonna add a resource at this point already, and then we're gonna pass this here. And what do we also need? We need a schedule. And we're gonna add our systems here, but right now we don't have any systems. So schedule, and we have physics. So we can pretty much copy all of this for physics as well, can't we? Physics. I think that's fine. And this is we're gonna comment this one as well. Go on node. Makes it a bit easier to just find everything. So yeah, we do need these two functions. Execute. That's gonna be floating point 64. We need to pass in the world and south.resources. And I'm jumping the gun a bit here. We need to call with world first. And let's take that and paste it in there. That's going to be the same thing for the process. And apparently this is a bit unhappy about this. Physics. Oh right, we haven't even added these to the game world. Alright, this is I am all over the shop. Okay, process and physics. Alright, let's see. On our init function, we'll set this up. Process and physics. Okay, and then that needs to be mutable. And then that's all good. We don't care about the owner at all at this point. Why is this unhappy? Oh, look at that. Oh, come on. Okay, so we got our unhandled input and our ready function. And let's add some resources. Delta is gonna hold our delta time, and game world, no, not game world, world node is gonna hold our world node, unsurprisingly. So let's see then, what are we gonna do for that? If I try to put this world node into a system now, it's going to fail. It's not possible to do that. But first, let's put our delta in here, an initial value of 0. So that's our physics. Let's do the same thing for this guy up here. Okay, and here we're going to do insert world node, and then we'll need to, well, we can't insert it there. We need to insert the world node on the ready function. So well, I guess we could have inserted it up there. No, you know what? It's fine on the ready function. So self.process resources insert world node owner. Now it's gonna give us an error because we cannot send this between threads and the like. So we need to do something. We need to implement unsafe. Implement send for world node and sync as well. And now we have to promise ourselves not to use this across threads. We have to keep this limit our use of the world node to thread local systems. So okay, that's our execute function there, done with that. And what we're missing here is the delta. No, so the resources. Get mutably delta D0 is delta as F32. That's fine, and we're gonna do the same thing up here as well. Okay, so we can now use the delta time in any of our systems if we want to. So this one is a little bit unhappy, so we need to do that. And last but not least, unhandled input. There's a warning. Do we have any other warnings? Yes, we do. 117. Well, that's that one. Any other warnings? Event. No, it's 117. And all right, yes, in our library, where I'm going to add my tests, but we're going to leave that alone for now. We're not going to do any tests just yet. And let's see, what should we do next then? We can add a test system to see this working. Create a unit that holds a kinematic body 2D. And we're gonna have to do the same thing here. Unsaved implement send for unit. Sync. And let's go and add, okay, am I gonna end up where that's not actually visible? I should have set this up better. Anyway, I try to stay away from the right hand side. So what do we need? More units. There we go. And that's already unhappy about something. There we go. Okay, so rebuild that. There we go. We can, you know what? That warning's gonna drive me crazy. So that's our units. So let's add a system that is just going to be the hello world of this for now. It'll return a box, dynamic runnable, and if we runnable because we want to run it on a make it thread local. If it was you know what, that we need. If it was something we'd be happy to send across threads, we would call it a schedulable. Not that one. But now we're going to do runnable because we're going to use units and we're doing this, so we keep it all thread local. And let's see, what are we going to do with this guy? Okay, system builder. New hello world. And build thread local. Command buffer, world, resources, and query. We don't have any of these in here now. We could, I guess we could take the delta if we wanted to. Game world delta. Read resource delta. And let's just print out the delta. Okay. Right, that can't be there, of course. And then, right, we also need to, let's find our delta, and let's add some debug stuff for that one. Okay, we got another error somewhere. Oh, right, okay. Well, delta does, but the Legion wrapper does not. You know what, let's just do that. And oh, it's private. It's private. It will do us no good if we can't actually look at the number. We do that, forcing it to dereference, and okay, we're not using the command buffer for now. We're not using the world or the query either, so we do all that to get rid of that. Function is never used. No, that makes sense. And struct is never constructed. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go and add the where should we add the system? We add them in the process one. So where is our schedule? There we go. Add thread local. Hello world. And now we need to use that here. We need import hello world. And oh, did I call it units maybe? I did too. Oh, okay. Right, so that's done. So now we should have a system where we can what's the remnants from when I deleted it? Yep. Right, we haven't even set this up yet. Whoops, there's no ER. There we go. Okay, so we have to set up our node. This is the game world. Let's attach a script to that. It's a native script called game world. And then we need to load the library. Right, and that's all the, and then say that, that's all the interaction with script we're gonna do for now through through Godot. So we can bail it out of the editor, and if we want to run it now, we just call Godot game world. And here's our, well, our delta time. We have no way of quitting. Well, let's add a way of quitting as the next thing we do. So that gives us some use of this. So you know what? This is going to be unsafe. Owner get tree quit. Okay, so now any event will cause the program to exit, which is severely unhelpful. So instead, we're going to use gdextras input and input event extension. So before I go into this, let's just look at what this one does. Okay, this is just a convenience function for this. It's checking if action is pressed. It just means I don't have to cast a string into a Godot string. So you know, it's just a way of being lazy. And let's have a look. Here we go. So if event action pressed, UI console, then we'll quit. Okay, we can go and see if this works now. Alright, and then hit escape. There we go. And oh, hang on. Wrong window. Right, so let's have a look at our hello world system. We don't need to do that anymore. We can get rid of this thing. We definitely don't want to keep printing the delta time. So what should I do next then? So I have well, I haven't added any units to the world yet, so we can go and we can do that. So we can add a new spawner. I call it spawner. It's an awkward name, but create units. It says units. There we go. I'm done falling all over the keyboard. We need to get our kinematic body 2D in there as well, and I bet you that we're gonna need a vector 2 as well to position the unit. Actually, let's ignore that for now. Okay, so the first thing we do is body for short, kinematic body 2D new, and unit body. Alright, okay, that wasn't much of a spawner. You kind of just output the oh, hang on. I think I'm going to fix the camera. 1 second. Oh, dear me. Okay. Let's see, we can crank that up to 1600 ISO maybe. that gonna work? Yes. Okay, so dropped the frame rate a bit and cranked up the ISO. It's getting a little bit dark outside. So let's see what else. What else can we do? Okay, so we got this create unit that will spawn a unit for us. So now we need to add this into the world. So if we... Thank you. If we go to our unit system and our hello world, let's call this spawn unit. And now we're gonna need another resource. Instead of the delta, we're gonna use the game world here. The world node is the, yeah, that's public. So now we can get our spawner. And we can spawn a unit. And then we can add the unit to the we can add the unit to what should we add? To the world node, of course. Add child unit 0. We're adding the kinematic body to the world, not the anything else. So that's going to be unsafe, I'm pretty sure. And we are missing one more thing. I don't think we have the spawn in here. There we go. Okay, something's wrong. Constructor is not visible. Private fields. Yada yada yada. Wait, what? A boxed box. Okay, so first of all, that is supposed to be sum, and then we're gonna convert that to a node, and then false. And what am I missing in all this? I'm missing a bracket. There we go. What? Expected 2 parameters. Well, we're passing in 2 parameters. We're passing in the node and the wait, expected 2 parameters and then expected 1 parameter. Oh right, okay, so sorry. I have put that one in the wrong place. There we go. No method named to node. Okay. That surely cannot be it, but no, okay, hang on. Read resource world node. You know what? That's gonna have to be a write resource because it has to be mutable. And what else do we need to do with this thing? What we can do is we can just implement world node here, add a function for add child, and then we need to get the node in here, and self 0 add child some node false, and that's going to be unsafe. And then we can call world node add child unit to node. We can take away the unsafe stuff here, and that should be it. Except this guy is, oh right, okay, that that is too stupid. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Oh, right, open a web page. Got blinded by the light. Okay, here we go. So let's see, unit spawn unit, and that's not what we want. We want create unit. I'm calling the system here and getting confused by that. Add child is private. Okay, well, let's go to our game world and make that a public function. So it might be worth having that function on the node either way, because we're probably gonna end up adding other nodes to it, other than that. We should probably have a sprite in there as well. So let's open up the editor, and I don't really have a sprite, but what can I do about that? I can copy a sprite from my other project, I suppose. Alright, well, we'll get to that. So let's add a sprite. And let's add a text. Well, I can't add a texture. We're going to save this. I'm going to name it player sprite first. And let's save this. There, sorry, half blind. Okay, and then let's add an actual sprite. I can grab one from, let me just fire up a sprite on another screen. And let's see, let's grab something, anything. Alright, no, that was a bad example. Bear with me while I figure this out. Where is it? There's my dude sprite, my generic dude sprite. Okay, let's take the selector. Alright, well, I might as well move this over to the screen, okay? So, alright, this is how great I am at art. This is my contribution to the art, okay? So that's locked, that might be why. Let's get a new one. 729. Okay, let's save that into our projects. Playground, Godot, and let's make one called assets for good measure, and then that's the player. Alright, and now this is wrong file extension. PNG, there we go. Save. Alright, let's get rid of that, and let's go in here and then just go to our playground and delete the A sprite version of that, so we don't need that. Okay, now that's imported here, but that's gonna be all blurry and fuzzy, so we are going to change this. We have to take the filter off. We can re-import that back to our sprite, have a texture, and you know what, I do want to add one more thing to this. I want to add a camera. So we can do a bit of zooming and moving the camera at some point. Let's change the resolution so it's a lot easier to see. So we want the window. Let's do 320 by 240. Let's just go back in time. What's that? A mold 13H, I think. Was that 320 by 200, 256 colors? I don't know. I didn't really do any graphics programming then. Let's see, 2D, and yeah, let's just leave it like this. We can turn off VSync as well, so we can print the FPS at some point as well. Okay, so let's just run this, and which is he's in the wrong place. He's not in the wrong place. It's the camera. Hang on, I thought I had a camera. Well, that's embarrassing. Camera 2D. Well, even if we did run this, it will still be up in the corner there because we did not make the camera current. We didn't. I say we. I'm not blaming anyone but myself. I did not make the camera active. And then we have the play sprite running this now. There he is in all his square glory. Oh, look at that mouse lag. Okay, well that's not gonna work. I think we might have to pop the VSync back on again. Okay. There we go. Okay, let's quit out of that. And I should fix the font oversampling or whatever error message we're getting. What's it called? Font oversampling only. You know what? We're gonna go into our project settings, and then we're just gonna look for oversampling. Font. No, this doesn't say font. This is false. Oh. Rendering quality. There we go. Turn that off. Okay, now it should be quit warnings. I'm happy to be without warnings. Okay, let's do this. No warnings. Pretty square dude. No mouse lag. I have no idea of if we're having high FPS on this or not. Yeah. So anyway, let's see. So what are we doing? Okay, we're adding the you know what? I have to remove that one. We can't start the game with one player sprite already in there. So let's quit. So now we need a way to create the player sprite. So we have one way to create a unit. Let's do one to create player sprite that returns a sprite 2D. Or is it just sprite? I think it's just sprite. There we go. So what do we need for that? We also need the loader, resource loader for that. This is resource load. This is how we get things. How we load our packed scenes. Godot singleton. I say that I don't really know what a packed scene is. I should look in the manual, but I don't know. Load, and then what are we loading? We're loading the player sprite TSCN. And we need to pass some pack right packed scene. Yes, we do. Packed scene into and then false. That false has to do with whether we want to disable the cache or not. I think the documentation said. And then we can just do a bunch of and then all the way home, and then we got a resource, and then the resource we're gonna cast that into a packed scene, and then that will give us a scene. So scene to instance. There we go, and then we get a node from that node cast to sprite, and finally we unwrap, and that should return a sprite. If there's no typos in here, that should be fine. Obviously, it's not like super clever to unwrap something because you might go and change something. Rename the player sprite, for instance, and then nothing will work, or at least that part won't work. But you know, it's all good. I need to. So much bloody purple on this page. My face looks insanely red, but I just need to know whether, you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. Okay, and now I should be able to see if the camera runs out of batteries. Anyway, so packed scene. Right, that's creating our player sprite. So let's go back to our unit where we spawn a unit, and we're gonna do a sprite, create sprite. Was it sprite or was it create player sprite? Player sprite, that's the one. And that gives us a sprite. Well, it will if we spell the function correctly. So, right, unit 0 add child sprite. Oh yeah, no, that's just a sprite. And that's gonna be unsafe. There's gonna be a lot of unsafe here. All right, okay, and then we have to do some to node, and then pass in false. There we go. Okay, so now when this system runs, we should get a kinematic body with a player sprite on it. So let's see if we can get that sorted then. So what do we need? Okay, right. So running this spawn unit. Oh my. Okay, running this system, which we're doing now every 1/60th of a second, would cause there to be a lot of units spawning all over the world. So we need to limit this to something. We need to create a query. That's what we need to do. We need a query that is going to be our where we spawn the units. Maybe a unit position. Nah. Vector 2. Before we do any of that, I'm gonna do some input handling. So we'll do a new one. Okay, new input, and let's add input there. Okay. Surely you can find the module. There we go. So we're gonna need some kind of mouse input, and we're gonna need mouse button. And we're gonna need mouse coordinates, but the mouse coordinates is not gonna be the coordinates on screen. It's not gonna be top left being 0, 0 or whatever it is, right? Because we might move the camera, so instead we want our mouse position to be relative to our root node. So we don't use the mouse event to get the mouse position. We use the root node to get the mouse position. I think if I change the white balance, I might not look like a strawberry. But let's just go with this, man. Strawberry programming. Obstruct. Look at this. This is just make believe. You gotta put a struct. Mouse position, and that's gonna be a global vector 2. It's gonna be called global vector 2. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna get this one from the root node, from the game world. So on our input event handling, here we go. Here we can actually do this. Okay, get mouse buttons and position. So what we're gonna do down here. So we can do owner, get global mouse position. And that's probably unsafe, isn't it? No. Oh, yes, hang on. We've got another problem here. Alright, there's no hello world anymore. Spawn unit is what it's called. Alright, and then we need to change it down here. And what's the problem now? Alright, can I borrow as mutable? Alright, well, I should probably fix all this first then. Fixing that, and call to unsafe function requires unsafe function block. But it has an unsafe function block. Oh, you know what's not safe? It's calling to node. Ugh. That's okay. Unsafe. Not there. In that case, we just do this, and we'll make the add child function on the game world unsafe, and then we can take that away, and we don't return anything. Still not happy. All right, more unsafe functions. Yeah, unsafe for days. What do we have now? Oh, okay, what's this all about then? Now, if it's gonna look like this, we might as well take away the unsafe functions there and wrap it all in one big unsafe block. And then we don't need that to be mutable. Alright, we don't need a command. We probably will do eventually, and that does not need to be mutable. I thought that it had to be mutable to add a child. Game world. It is mutable. All right, because right resource is it doesn't have to be declared as mutable. It's whatever is inside there is going to be mutable. And okay, so that is now broken still. Oh, more unsafe. Come on. A spawner and this one. Right, there we go. No warnings, it's building. So we are, I don't know, how many, can I see somewhere how long I've been doing this? 44 minutes. Okay, let's see how many unsafe we have now. 9 unsafe. Okay, it wasn't so bad. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's not important. But, yeah, that's at least something. Right, so we were doing input. That's what we're doing. So get mouse position and then mouse button. And, you know, I'm going to do this as an enum. And it's going to be an event, empty or... what are we going to do? Empty or mouse. And let's do pressed boolean and button index i64, because everything from GD Native is i64. I really do like GD Native. I mean, I keep mentioning this unsafe stuff, but GD Native is really, really good. I would not be making games if it wasn't for GD Native. The game I'm working on is the first real game I'm making. It's not like I've done some like small mobile games and stuff, and I've done a game jam game that was really bad, but it was fun. But the game that I'm working on is like my main game that I'm doing. It's gonna be a bigger game. So yeah. So GD Native, thanks to those guys, because it got me into game development, much to my wife's dismay. One day she's going to figure out how we're not making any money on this, and it's going to be a difficult day for me. But until then, we're going to keep making games. Okay, so larks aside, we got mouse button event. So let's see, let's wire this up on the unhandled input, and the mouse position we can get also on the unhandled input. So let's go to our game world, find our unhandled input. And we got the position, and we need to get the mouse event as well. So now that we have the position, we're gonna add this as a resource. And since you can start the game, running without having that resource, without moving the mouse or causing any kind of event. And if any system tries to access that event, it's gonna blow up. So to prevent that, we're gonna start off in our process to insert the mouse position event, which will be, we're just going to call mouse position 0. So we're making that name up. And then we had, what was the name of our other mouse button? That's a stupid name, isn't it? Alright, we'll leave it as that. And then it's going to be mouse button empty. And let's get these into, let's import this input, mouse position, mouse button. Okay, we're not using these in the physics process yet. We're not doing anything with the physics process yet, but if we were, excuse me. Okay, so we need to add this 0 function. And then global self, global vector to 0. That's that taken care of. And then mouse button. We're gonna add one more thing to this. Implement mouse button. We're gonna add one thing to this, not one more. Public function consume. And this lets us consume an event once it happens. So if you have a click event that triggers something, we can consume it so it doesn't propagate anything anywhere else. Right, so self is empty. Is that legit? It is. Come on, Rust. Right, here we go. All right, and consume is never used. That's fine. We are going to use it eventually. Game world. So now we've got a mouse position and a mouse button. Now we need to populate this with some data from the unhandled event. So let's do self.process resources get mutably the mouse position. And then we say mouse global is equal to whatever that is. Tidy that up. Is it happy with that? No. Alright. That probably has to be mutable. And still not happy. Alright. It's private. It's private. You know what? To make sure that we don't really unintentionally go and set that, let's add a function. Set position. And then we add another function called global. There we go. So we have to intentionally call a function to get a hold of it, and that's our global. And now we're gonna call set. We're gonna try to call that global instead. Okay, was it set position maybe? You know what? It should be called set global because we are setting the global position. We're calling it global in case we need to make something local or related to a viewport or anything like that. So that's mouse button, mouse position. And then we're going to do the mouse button event. And for this one, we need to cast our input event. Currently, we just have input event, but we need input event mouse button. That's a mouthful. If let some event is equal to event cast to input long word, then we can create. Oh no, we're not creating anything. We are getting the mouse button. Ooh. Yeah, and then mouse is equal to mouse button mouse. We do this instead. Dereference that. And then we do from event on this one. Input mouse button. Input event mouse button. So we say, oh yeah, and that has to return self as well. Oh, that's not a struct. Come on. Self mouse. There we go. And then pressed is equal to is pressed. And button index is equal to get button index, maybe. Alright, sorry. Yes, it was. Okay, so right, there we go. So now we can create the event. There we have it. No, we don't create the event. That's nonsense. We get the event, and if we pass it to this function, so we get a mouse event of it. Okay, so now we don't have to do anything with this. We will have these as part of our resources in our world. So we can look at our spawn unit system now. So here where we just spawn a unit nilly-willy, we can get another resource, which is our mouse button, and let's get our position as well. create input mouse button, mouse position. And then we can't just call it that world node anymore. Then that is the world node followed by the, whoops, followed by the mouse button and the mouse position. There we go. Okay, so if the, we can start off by saying if the mouse button, let's just match mouse button. If it's empty, then we'll just return. Right? There's no point. We don't need that on several lines. There's no point in doing anything if it's empty. But if the mouse button, mouse pressed, ignore the rest. Now you know what? We're gonna do pressed and button index. As a matter of fact, let's just ignore all of that. Let's ignore all of that and say if mouse button pressed is equal to 1, that's our left mouse button, and that's not how you spell button. Now we just have to go and add the function, okay? And I'll tell you why that is going to be easier to do it that way. So we have to add another function, add it down here. Button pressed, and self index I64, and then we'll return a boolean value. So max self and empty, then return false, and mouse pressed and button index. So we return pressed and button index is equal to index. Now we don't need the return keyword in there. Okay, dereference that guy. Okay, apparently not. Alright, do it there as well. Right, okay, so what does that mean? That means that we can just check if button is pressed. Oh, excuse me. Cool, I do look like a strawberry, don't I? Right, okay, never mind that. So if it's not pressed, then we return. Otherwise, we're going to mouse button consume. And if we're going to consume that, it means this needs to be a write resource. Okay, so this means if you click the left mouse button, there's a right mouse button, left mouse button. If you click it, then we consume the event. Nothing else going to get the event, and then we're going to create a unit, add a sprite, and now we can actually give this unit a position. We can give it the mouse position global. So we'll say when you create a unit, you have to pass in a global position. Now, you know what? I don't want to set the position yet. The position is going to be set after we add it to the world node. So unit 0 set global position, mouse position global. And that's probably unsafe. What is it that we have? We don't need the vector 2 in there, so let's get rid of that one. Hey, no warnings. Okay, so we've been programming for a while without seeing anything, so we should go and test this out now. So if I run this, if I click somewhere, no, of course not. Of course not. Okay, right. Hang on to your socks. Let's fix this. Spawn unit, button pressed, and did I manage to add this to the right schedule? Yes, I did. Okay, we're not super keen on this formatting. Is it gonna do me in if I do? Yep, it will. Okay, Rust format. You're great, but you're mucking up my lines. I could add something to deal with that, but I am too lazy for that too. So we got our schedule. I'm definitely gonna be coming up towards the end of my battery life here, but let's just keep going. Let's see what happens. I have a spare somewhere. Let's see, schedule, builder, add thread local, spawn units, and we do have the mouse position and the mouse button. Okay, all right, let's do a bit of print debugging. Pressed and not pressed. Okay, let's see. Not pressed, pressed. Oh, look at that. Did I just forget to save? Was it something as stupid as that? Alright, look at that. We're spawning dudes left, right, and center. Look at that. We can't print the FPS because for some reason the mouse gets kind of laggy if I do. Anyway, as fun as that was, let's go and delete the print statements and let's just see if this works. I mean, we know it works, but let's do it again. Look at him. Okay, well that's not super exciting. It would be maybe more exciting if he actually could move. So let's add a system for move units. And since we're going to be manipulating a Godot node again, we should definitely make sure that we use the thread local system again. So let's do that. Build a new move units. Build thread local. Command buffer world resources and query. And let's go to our game world and let's import this. Where is it coming? There we go. It's from spawn units. Move units. Should be plural though. Should be move units. On account of there being many. And let's add that system here. And the added bonus that Rust format doesn't want to put it on multiple lines anymore. Alright, so let's see. So how we're gonna do this? Okay, we can do it like this. You click on a unit to select it, and then you click somewhere else. It will move the unit and deselect it. So we need a tag. We need a tag so we can tag our unit. Where's our resources? There's a resource. Let's make our tags after resources. Tags. Selected. And that doesn't have anything. Debug and clone and partially equal. There we go. So that's just a marker struct. So we'll stick that on anything that we select. This also makes it a little bit difficult with the clicking to create, because we're clicking to move. So let's do this. If you right click, you create, and if you left click, you select and move. So let's go to our units and make this massive change all the way up here. Done. Right. Okay, so let's see. So we got that. Build thread local. We're now gonna say with query. We finally get to do a query, and we're gonna say all our no. We're gonna have write access to the unit. There we go. Sorry, I have used the computer before. I'm just being a bit slow. And we're gonna have write access to a unit position that we haven't defined yet. Query. So let's I couldn't find the mute button. Okay, let's define our. It's crazy woman here. Let's define the unit position. That's what I was doing. Okay, before I coughed myself into confusion. Power abstract unit. Unit position that holds a vector 2, and that means we need to add a vector 2 in here now. And the unit position is not going to be what we use to move the unit. The unit position is going to be what we use to keep track of where the unit is, right? By separating the unit position from the unit, it means that we can let the physics system move the unit. The physics system. Look at that. All right, we're back to terrible formatting again. We can let the physics system move the unit, and then we can use the mouse position. No, that's just me reading the script. The unit position is getting late. I'm sorry. The unit position to figure out where we are when we do other queries. There it is. Okay, so now we finally get to add something to our physics system. So do that and build and done and semicolon and relax. Okay, so move units back to this guy. Okay, so we're gonna get right access to our unit so we can move it, and then we're gonna get right access to unit position so we can update that. What am I missing? Okay, right. So there's two things I'm missing here. I have not added the unit to the world, so we need to do that. Now we need to get our command insert. And what we have no tags. We don't tag them with anything. And then we need an iterable of sorts. So we do this. We got unit, and we're also gonna do a unit position. Get global position, and like that. Is that going to be unsafe? And yeah, of course it is. Let's smooth in here. And am I okay? Right. What am I doing? There we go. That's clear. I could probably move the unit position to be created here and then put the unit in. But I mean, who cares? It is what it is. Alright, so back to building. Okay, so now we have a unit and a unit position. So now we can call the Godot move and slide on our unit. So hang on, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We need from the game. We need our selected tag. We need to filter selected. Okay, so we don't get anything that isn't selected when we try to move this. And then we say for unit position in query. It needs to be passing the world. So I think we are going to. I'm not going to eat my hand. We are going to. What are we gonna do? I'm missing something. We're gonna have to ditch the selected tag once we move them. So we cannot just do this. Is all fine. This is building. We can take it from here. All right. You know what? Let's just finish this. Unit 0 move and slide default. Velocity. Okay, now I'm using a bunch of things that doesn't exist or that is not visible. So first thing is our velocity. You know what? We're missing something else. We're missing something. We're missing a destination. Okay, so when you click to move a unit, you set a destination. So we're only interested in units that have can read the destination. There we go. So we're only interested in units that are selected and have a destination. And now this doesn't work anymore. We need to add the destination in there. And okay, so we need to create the velocity. So first of all, we need to know where we're going. So let's get our direction. That's going to be our destination minus our position. Normalize that. That gives us direction. And then we need some speed. And we're just going to make something up. And then we need our velocity, which is going to be our direction times our speed. Since we're using move and slide, we don't have to care about the delta value. But normally you would. Okay, so we got our velocity. This should be okay. Alright, we're missing move and slide default. And that comes from GD extras. Movement, not mouse. Movement. Oh. Move 2D. Okay, so what move and slide default does is this. Okay, Godot has a bunch of default values that obviously doesn't appear in Rust. So we have all these default values. So I just took those out of the Godot documentation and made this thing. And hang on, we cannot just call move and slide default. We're missing something. We are missing the up vector. Okay, so since we're not gonna have an up vector here, so we're just gonna say vector 0. There's no gravity to apply. Oh right, and unit needs to be mutable, and so is this guy. So after we're done on move and slide, we can now query the unit get global position and say that our unit position is equal to that. So we update that and then unsafe. That I can yeah, okay. You know what, I'm gonna every time I'm about to start waffling on about something, I'm gonna try to stop myself. So we update that, and now last thing we need to do is we need to, well, actually, you know what we need to do? We can now check if the destination minus the unit position, let's do that. If that is less than 4, I just picked an arbitrary number. If it's less than 4, then we're gonna remove the destination as well. Remove destination, and what do we want to do? Hang on. This whole remove selected thing is probably not very clever. You know what? We're gonna remove that filter. Whoopsie. Okay, so we're gonna move every unit that has a destination instead. Right, sorry about this. Okay. Right, yeah, okay, so I just had to check in or something. Anyway, let's get back to it. Right, what was I waffling on about? Right, so yes, we say that we're only interested in units that have a destination. And if they are within a certain distance of the destination, instead of trying to snap them to the destination, we just say close enough, and then we're going to remove them. And to be able to remove a component, we need the entity. So we need to have entity here as well. And for that to work, we can't iter mutably. We need to iter entities mutably. So now we get our entities as well in there. So now we can queue up the remove component. And what are we removing? We're removing the destination from the entity. Like so. Okay, so now we have this whole untested system. What's this complaining about? We have no resources. No, we don't care about that. Okay. So we need one that will. Oh, I'm so sorry. We need to. It's past my bedtime. We need a system that will detect where you're clicking, and if you're clicking on a unit, then you're selecting it, and if you're clicking not on a unit, then you're setting a destination, right? So let's do select units. Well, it's singular. Select units. You can only select one at a time. We're not doing the drag and select box thing that I'm doing in my game. And let's do system builder, new, select unit. And what do we need for this? We need all the units. With query read unit query and build thread local. Do we need this to be thread local? You know what? We don't need this. We can do a system that is not thread local now. So we do a schedulable system instead, and then we do build, and then we'll have a command buffer, world, resources, and query as per usual. So we have our spawn units, and then we have select unit, and this time we're going to add, whoops, select unit, and that is add system as opposed to add thread local. There we go. But now we cannot use the unit. We have to use a unit rect. Okay, so what we're gonna do is jump the gun again. We're going to detect whether the mouse button is clicked within a sort of bounding box of the sprite. Okay, I'm gonna have to call it soon, but let's do that. Let's add this kind of bounding box to this. Let's just call this unit rect. There's a pub rect2, and that means we need to add a rect2 to that one. So now we can change this to have, we have this thing, and we need a write resource mouse position. No, mouse button. And we need a read resource mouse position. So we're gonna use the mouse button to detect whether you clicked on it, and we're gonna use the position to know where you're clicking. So for rect in query iter world. There we go. That's all we need. Then we say if rect contains the mouse position global to point, I believe, then add the destination component, which we don't have, and there's no contains on that. But well, it would be on the inner type. There we go. And look at that, it's not even unsafe. That's because the type comes from Euclid. Okay, and if we're gonna add a component, if we're gonna modify an entity in any way, we can no longer just call iter. We need to iter entities, not mutably though. So we have entity and rect, and we also need the destination. The destination is there, so then we can say command q up to add component to entity, and the component is destination where the destination is going to be mouse position global. There we go. And that's fine. The only thing we're missing now from all this is the well, you know what, we gotta do this. If that's what we're gonna do. If mouse button 1 is not pressed, as in you're pressing no button or you're pressing the right button, then yes, then we do nothing. Otherwise, we do mouse button consume. So this, well, no, we don't. No, we don't. We only want to consume the mouse button if we're adding an entity. Now we're calling consume several times, but they're just gonna set it to empty. Actually, not really, because we're only gonna have one. Oh, excuse me. All right. I'm really gonna have to call it soon. Right. So we are setting the mouse button consume. Right. So we're consuming this if we click on an entity, and we could even go as far as to say that we return out of this function, out of the whole thing, if we have selected one unit. Right, so this is kind of a, yeah, so we're missing one thing. We're missing something. When we spawn the unit, we need one more thing. We need a unit rect here. So we need to create a rectangle. And let me see. What if we go back to this guy here? We can actually see the size of the canvas, which is 7 by 29. Okay, so that's the size we need to. That's the 7 by 29. That's the size of the rectangle, and the rectangle is going to start at the unit position. So we're going to say rect to. Let me get some. We're gonna do this cargo doc open. Now you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna do open that in a new tab. Cargo doc open. I was very lazy. I could just have created a new tab, right? But whatever. I don't know why I did that. Right, okay, enough dilly-dallying. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so let unit rect equal. And then we're gonna do unit rect new, and we pass in the unit position, and we pass in the 7 by 29 7f 7 and 29. Okay, so we need to go to a unit rect and implement this. Supposedly components aren't gonna have any logic, right? They're supposed to just be data, but this is just convenience. Its origin is gonna be a vector 2, and then we're gonna have the width, which is an f32, and a height, which is an f32. And to create this rect 2, what is it that we need for that? We need see if that's still running. Okay, for the rect 2, let me see if I can just bring this across. Okay, let's just place it up there so it's kind of visible. Rect 2, let's see how we can create one of these. The colors. Oh, more. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna origin point to the. Okay, so that's not gonna be a vector. That's gonna be a point to the. And there went the battery. Okay, let me just swap out the battery. Okay. Let's just do. Where is that thing? Okay. Okay. Let's unplug this. Maybe I should fix the white balance while I'm at it. So maybe that's the white balance that was on there. Okay, you know what? Enough fiddling with the camera. Let's just do this and get back to it. Okay, let's see if we are back. We are back, and I'm still looking like a strawberry. Okay, maybe I should change the channel name to Strawberry Development. No, because that would be stupid. Okay, so point 2D. We need a point 2D for this to work, and we need a size 2D. And okay, right. Well, that's the wrong library. So it's a point 2 and size 2 maybe. No size 2 in the root. Is there a size then? No size either. Okay, we have a point, but we have no size. So let's add Euclid to this, and then we're gonna do. We'll make our own size. So use Euclid size 2. No, that's a function. Size 2D. Okay, and then we'll do our own type here. Size 2, which is a size 2D F32 Euclid unknown unit. There we go. So now we have a size 2. So we can then change this to a size 2, which like 2 new origin and size, and we'll just change that to rect, tidy that up. And that is not building. Okay, right, of course not, because we're passing in a bunch of hoopla. You know what, maybe it's better to pass in a vector 2D and hang on, I don't want to lose that. Vector 2. So let rect equals rect2 new origin to point, and then we have a size 2 new width and height. There we go. Is that better? It is better. There we go. All right. Sorry, microphone's gonna walk us. Okay. So that's all fine. We can get rid of that. Goodbye documentation. I'll see you in 5 minutes. So we now have the unit rect done, and we don't have to do any crazy conversions. So select unit, which is now running supposedly game world. Let's see, have we added select units? Yes, we have. Okay, select, spawn, and move. We have move on the other system. Right, so what are we missing then? We got select, we got spawn, and move. But I feel like we're missing something. Well, if you select a unit, it gets the destination. But that's not right. That is not right at all. This system is wrong. We're adding a destination when you select a unit. That is completely incorrect. We don't want to add this. We don't want to add a destination. We want to add a tag, and the tag is going to be selected. There we go. So we're selecting units, we're not moving them. Now we can do another system, which is Do we do one called click to move? Let me see what I have. I have select unit, move unit, and spawn unit. Okay. Set unit destination then. Maybe this can be a schedulable as well. So system builder, new, give units a destination. We're giving it a long description here. Build, command, world, resource, and query. So if I don't say that out loud, I'll forget about the arguments. And we want to have a query, and we want what do we care about here? We care about something to query, filter, tag selected. All right, so that should give us everything that is selected. And can we do an empty query, like can we? Because we could filter if it has the selected and the component unit position. Right, that would give us, but we have no need to actually get the unit position out. We don't need to get anything. We do need the mouse position. Anyway, I mean, okay, there's no point in dildadding with that one. So let's just read the unit position, and then we can iterate over all the entities. For entity, whatever, we don't care about that. In query, iter entities, have a world, and then we say command, add component to the entity. The component is the destination. Here we go. Mouse position dot global. I've already done this, but I did it in the wrong place, and everything's broken. Okay. Let's see. I probably had a semicolon. No, that's usually the culprit. I do that and hope for better days. Okay, so with query, is that the one that's causing us grief? Yes, it is, because we have not closed it. Again, I could have just read the error message and not been so lazy, but I am lazy. So okay, that's building. So now we have set unit destination. So we can go back to our game world and okay, wrong tab. No, it was the right tab, but whatever. What's that called? Select unit. Set unit destination. We probably need to import that as well. No. Oh man, I am frazzled. Okay, so say unit destination. So now that's in the system. There's way too many moving parts now, and I haven't checked this, so I have no idea if this is gonna work or what's gonna happen. So get ready for some serious print debugging. Let's create. All right, right click. Click on him to select, click on him to move, and unsurprisingly that hasn't worked. Okay, so let's do some print debugging. I have been writing too much code without checking anything. Select unit. Try to select unit, and then here we actually select the units. So if we see those two, then we know that unit's actually being selected. And it's now taking 7 seconds to build this. Okay, wait a second. That's not great. Also on the unit kind of yeah, I mean yeah, follow the mouse, but that's not what we were trying to do. Now I got both of them following the mouse. Okay, that's all kinds of wrong. Okay, let's see. Alright, I should put my battery to charge. Right. Come on. If the button is not... well, okay. Right, so we're checking if the button is pressed and is number 1. There is a bug somewhere. There is a bug somewhere that I am missing in all its glory, which is it's like we have to bounce the button so it can't what are we doing here? Okay, let's look at the game world again. And let's look at the unhandled input. So does that mean that we're only getting the does this mean that we are only setting the mouse button on the event, and then what? So that is gonna be set, and then all the other mouse events does nothing. But that's fine because we're only looking at the mouse button, and we are consuming it. If you click on a unit and consume is supposedly working. Yeah, it sets it to empty. Okay, well, we run into our first bug. So let's go back to our units and let's have a look. Set unit destination. So our spawn unit, this guy does not act the same way, right? If I hold the right mouse button, are we getting 100 units? No, we don't. Only when I click. So that's working as it's supposed to. Maybe we need to set unit. You know what? This guy needs to consume the input. Right resource, mouse button. Okay, so we have mouse button now. And so this one says that if it is selected, then maybe I should have set it up differently. So so we can always consume the input. We could do mouse button 3. No, let's not. I'm getting too tired for this. Okay, I think we're gonna do this. If mouse button, let's see, if mouse button pressed 1, then if it isn't that, then return, do nothing. But otherwise we'll do mouse button.consume. So that means that this select unit system just have to run before this one. So set unit destination. The select unit has to run before set unit destination, which it does. Okay, and okay, so let's see then if we add that. Try to select units. Okay, but it didn't work though. But at least it's not flipping out in colors anymore. Oh, hello. We managed to select a unit. Hang on. Oh, hang on a second. Yep. Okay. Clicking in the bottom part of the unit is going to select the unit, because when I add the square, where are we? When I add the rectangle, it's not a square, it's a rectangle, especially when it's 7 by 9. Speaking of which, let's find our 7. There it is. Okay. We need to change this. We can't say that it's 7 and 29 like that. The right. Okay. This point has to be. We have to create an origin here. We're gonna call this position, and then origin is a vector to new. It's because the origin is the center of the rectangle, and so we need to move the position. Right. Okay. So our x position is going to be the position x minus the width divided by 2. Alright, and position y minus the height divided by 2. Yeah, that's right. So now we're placing it in the right place. Sorry. We got the origin. And we got the width and the height, and okay, alright, you know, enough waffling. Let's just see this. Right click, click over there. There we go. Okay, and then, but he's supposed to get unselected when we click to move. So let's get that sorted as well. Spawn unit, select unit, set unit destination, add component, and remove tag. Okay, and remove tag. Selected. We pass like that. You can have values on tags. That's why when you add a tag, you add it like that and not like that. And then when you filter, you can filter on tag values as well. So yeah, I'm really impressed with Legion. It's really cool. And it's the first time I'm working with an ECS as well, and I really like the syntax, the API is the word I'm looking for. I really like the API, and let's see, we just changed the battery. All right, okay, sorry, strawberry power, let's go. I like the API of it, is what I'm trying to say, and I think it's really good. Okay, so I select these. That guy, move them over there, and if I select this guy now, it's only him. Yes, it is. Select one of them. Oh no, that doesn't work. You know what? We're gonna be able to select them again somewhere because we're moving the unit square. We're moving the unit, but we're not moving the unit square. So when we update our position, where's our move? Something rather. Move units. There we go. Here. Here we also need to get our unit square, and that's going to be a mutable reference to unit rect. That's what we need. So then we need to change that to have right unit rect. Okay, now this is getting very long. I bet that Rust format is gonna... No, I thought it wasn't gonna let me do that, but it did. You go format. And then in all my excitement, I got confused and forgot what I was doing. And yeah, I'm going to do... Okay, right, like I said before, right? Components supposed to be data and not have logic. But some things are just easier to contain here. In this here place. Why don't we? Add a component, why don't we? So now the self.0.origin is going to be this new position, and 2 point, and now we should be able to select the unit again. We're moving the origin, so we're moving the center point, and I think that should be okay, right? Because it's the center of the doodah. So click, move. No, 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 and no. Okay, no, I can't select this anymore. Is it up here somewhere? Okay, select, move. Yeah, okay, well that's not moving at all. Why is that not moving? Oh! Right. It's not moving because I am not updating the unit rect. Instead, I'm doing silly. Okay, so here we have unit position. So, unit rect, update the unit 0. No. Unit position 0. There we go. There we go. Okay, right. So, if this works, I think we're gonna have to call it. Okay, right. Get a guy on screen. Click, move. Click. No. Okay, wait, hang on. Yes. Okay, right. Oh, he stays selected, but not up there. No, not in the neck, because we need to do the same thing again. Okay, go to update function, and then we say that origin is a vector to new position x minus self dot size dot width divided by 2, and let's do y with becomes height 2 point. This is not pretty, is it? And it's wrong too. Why is this wrong? Size. Alright. Alright, there we go. Okay, right, let's see if this works. If this works, I'm gonna go get myself some fizzy water and sit down in the sofa and relax for a bit before I get on with the rest of my day. Okay, so that worked, and that works. Okay, so we can click and move these rather dashing looking squares about. Why are they so flat? Well, I know the answer to that. Okay, select, go. Alright, let's just add loads of these. Whee! Alright, I'm not gonna select all of them. Let's just pick out a few. Can we make a game out of this? Is there a game in here somewhere where you select misc and then figure out which ones you've selected? And then they move into a cluster. It's a crowd of goblins and dudes. Okay, right. Whatever. Okay, anyway, so I'm gonna call it. Thank you very much, and I'll continue tomorrow.